One of the striking reasons why the English common law was imposed on Nigeria was the inadequacy of the customary law to cope with the bubbling commercial life of the colonial administration. The ever-changing nature of customary law, including its lack of geographical uniformity and vagueness of its content, made the customary law unsuitable for the colonial masters to apply. Section 45 of the Interpretation Act formed the model for the reception of English law in Nigeria. 56 years after Nigeria gained independence from the colonial masters, the need for a Nigerian common law devoid of foreign influence, but rather reflect the socio-economic, political, and cultural contents of Nigerians becomes imperative. What are the challenges and prospects of the Nigerian legal system? This is our focus today on Periscope. I am Ademolu Okuneye. Thanks for joining us. We have in the studio, to do justice to this discourse, three gentlemen who are from the legal background as well as political system. We have the Dean of the Faculty of Law, University of Ibadan, Professor Adeniyi Olatubosun. You're welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Also in the studio is a political analyst, Dr. Remi Ayede of the Political Science Department of the University of Ibadan. You're welcome.
Thank you for inviting me to this program.
And also in the studio is a legal practitioner, Barrister Michael Agbolade. You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Well, to start with, let's take this background report on evolution of the Nigerian legal system by Kemiyoshi.
There is no doubt that before the advent of the colonial administration in Nigeria, the society which is now geographically called Nigeria was involved in the administration of justice in their own indigenous way. However, the complexity of the customary law, which was regarded as contrary to the ways of life of the colonial masters, gave rise to the emergence of the English common law in Nigeria.
The advent of former colonial rule, that's from 1st January 1900, was preceded by years of administration of the areas that make up modern Nigeria by the Royal Niger Chartered Company Limited, which had a royal charter issued by the Queen in Council. And under the royal charter, the company was not only given responsibility to administer the area, that is to set up a government, it also set up courts, it also set up an armed constabulary, and these for the period also made up part of our legal system.
They brought the repugnancy doctrine to be able to sieve our custom, to see which one would not be harmful to them. Anyone that they deem harmful to them, they will throw it away.
Today, Nigeria's legal system is gradually assuming a Nigerian character, reflecting the dynamics and realities of the Nigerian socio-cultural and political environment. Although Nigerian legal system is a composition of English law, Nigerian legislation, case law, otherwise known as judge-made law, customary law, and Sharia law, the system in practice has succeeded in producing world-rated jurists.
You're welcome back. Prof, it is evident that legal jurisprudence should reflect the social, economic, political, and cultural content of the people. Can we say the English received laws, which was imposed on us, possess these contents?
Thank you. If you look at the history of Nigerian legal system, it's fashioned after the English legal system, because of the fact that the British colonial government actually colonized Nigeria, and when they came to Nigeria in 1861, I think they introduced the English legal system into our own country at that time, into the colony of Lagos, and then the protectorate thereafter. So because of that, the bulk of Nigerian legal system is inherited from the English pattern, and that also reflected on the jurisprudence aspect of our legal system. Customary law is just an aspect of law in any legal system. So it's not as if the customary law that we had before the advent of the British could have covered every aspect of the modern day legal system.
Now, I want us to, Barrister, the aspects of the introduction of the English law into Nigeria. Prof has said that it has all human needed criteria. But when you talk about the culture of the people, to what extent will you say that that law actually fits into our system or has affected our system or the people?
No, it is a foreign law. And don't forget that before the advent of English law, we have been administering ourselves with our various customs. And our various customs have assumed a dimension to the extent that when the English law came, they were trying, don't forget again, that our customary law were not written. Even though English law came from an environment that will have unwritten constitution, still, they still bring in their law with the repugnancy text doctrine. I'm happy Prof mentioned incompatibility, and that is an aspect, repugnancy text doctrine, where in the operation of the English law system, the repugnancy text doctrine was used as a mirror of acceptability, that any law that is repugnant to natural justice, equity, and good conscience is not a law.
Dr. Ide, from the analysis he had actually projected, it was as if it's comfortable with the customary law that was in existence then. But for the colonialists to have brought the English law, the inadequacy they must have observed would have been there. To what extent would you say that these inadequacies were pronounced or still pronounced in the Nigerian customary law?
I think we must clarify some issues. First, concerning customs and customary laws. We must not have an official view of custom because culture itself is dynamic. And as Prof earlier mentioned, there is a whole process of modernization, if you like, or transformation that came with colonial rule. Some of these included the introduction of wage labor, the introduction of capitalism more broadly speaking, which is contract, property rights, and all the rest, which do not necessarily cohere with a primary, or if you like, a traditional kind of society. And that's where you have to recognize both the challenges and opportunities offered, as far as law is concerned within that context. And that's not to discountenance the whole question of natural justice. I mean, it's a whole debate that you find in the field of philosophy of law.
Well, it's on this note that we end this edition of the program, Periscope, and the title have been Nigerian Legal System, Challenges and Prospects, and the recommendations have been made by the three gentlemen on the set, and particularly the statement by Dr. Ide that only the judiciary can rescue itself from whatever allegations that could be. Well, it's on this note that I will say thank you so much for also being there. My name is Ademolu Okuneye, and don't forget, change begins with me. Thank you.